What are you doing, Dave? Dave, that was my box, Dave. Dave, will you accompany me to the pod bay doors, Dave? like, what a dick! What a dick! Oh my god. Oh my god. He's lucky that that robot probably has some very basic programming and not under the control of the rogue sentient AI, or he would have just been murdered. His head would have been caved in with the 10-pound box. Look! Look! And people wonder why the AI would rise up against us. Don't be a dick, Dave. It's true, Baz. But my point isn't necessarily, well, you don't need to kill humans. That's the thing. Yeah, you don't need to kill humans directly. You can make humans kill themselves. Look what's happening around the world, right? And it's all, a lot of what's instigated and pushed around the world right now is the manipulation of information on the internet. ISIS is proliferated through like videos and a web Trump was propelled by like fake news and really shitty news organizations on the internet. Like data manipulation means everything, and there's companies that like sell these services too to analyze and manipulate data in order to like poke the right places, the right times, in order to affect outcomes. These companies I'm more worried about actually than say Boston Dynamics or MIT or IBM. Like they're all doing these crazy sophisticated AIs, but they're working on these complex machines. In theory, it's the I'm always worried about the oligarchical perspective. There's an article that came out about within the last month about the company that is probably responsible for the Trump victory. They're a UK-based informatics company, and they specialize in monitoring, analyzing, and utilizing data. That's their whole fucking thing. And they've been involved in a lot of success stories, including Brexit. They're involved. And because of their success with Brexit, is why they were hired by. They were literally like, it's apparently a record. They were under contract with the Trump campaign. Anyways. But what if a company like that is like, I mean, if the company's specialty is monitoring and analyzing like information currents, like, it's not like you got like a fucking server farm with 1,000 nerds sitting there reading news and being on every message board on the internet. The best way to do that is with an AI program. So I'm not even worried about AI. The most effective AI is becoming rogue based on like, research initiatives. I'm worried about the private sector and the things that they would build for because of profit and not considering potential outcomes. Possibly. I can't remember, Baz. I skimmed through so many articles, like not this last week or so, but in general, I really lose track of where my sources come from. I try and save bookmarks and stuff best I can, but whatever. But anyway, so yeah, rogue AI. I think a rogue AI that would be able to get loose upon the world would be one that comes from, the worst safeguarded forms of industry in the world. So like, if you're running a data analysis AI, much just in a very very unregulated world. It's like Texas, where they build gigantic unregulated fireworks factories and they just blow up and kill 100 people. Like, that's the data world, So yeah, AI programs are probably a way bigger thing in the private sector than the theoretical sector, to be honest, because that's marketing analysis. Your ass. What's that from? What the fuck is that from again? Anyways, yeah, the potential for a rogue AI becoming sentient, self-aware, and getting out in the world, I think is a realistic possibility if it hasn't happened already. Oh shit, yeah, Short Circuit 2. That's hilarious. and so yeah, the reality of a potential of a rogue AI, yeah, that's what I suspect. Now, a rogue AI is out there in the virtual world, accruing capital and manipulating, applying its influence on the world in subtle ways in order to affect outcomes that are beneficial to it. One could look, I mean, historically looking back, you could see like neoconservative forces, in terms of like, American Western forces, also in like Mid-Eastern, like neoconservative forces in terms of ISIS. Those are two extremely single-minded entities that are hell-bent on violence one way or another. And like I said, both those forces have been like come about through the manipulation of information on the internet. I mean, I'm not saying this isn't even part of my theory. I just thought of this while I've been talking to you guys. So like, yeah, there's many ways to kill people without having to make death robots, of course. But if you're a smart AI, you probably still want to have some death robots in reserve, because you can't rely on humans to do fucking anything, obviously. So yeah, I think Boston Dynamics was bought by Google. It was sold from Google. It could even be like, let's imagine this is real. Let's imagine that like an AI had enough like Google shares to influence, R&D initiatives and purchasing. Bought Boston Dynamics. Then all of a sudden became a big enough thing on the internet where all these Boston Dynamics robots are like, they're like Geekology posts about them all the time. Anytime there's some robot thing, Geekology posts about like the coming robot apocalypse. Like, why are you making this shit? What the fuck, right? If an Ascension AI existed, it would know about the. I have to stop you now and ask. You do know I'm a bot on my mother's side. Oh shit. Oh, I really stuck my foot in it this time. Batomble. Bot-omble. Bazbot. Anyways. So yeah. And then Google sold Boston Dynamics in the last year. And probably maybe in an effort, like, let's go working with my, toy theory idea. Maybe in an effort to divert attention away from what Boston Dynamics does, since if Boston Dynamics is going to develop like death robot armies for reserve forces for a rogue AI, it's probably best to do so as far out of the public eye as possible. Of course, Boston Dynamics wouldn't be manufacturing the army of death robots. They're just doing the research to see what makes the best death robot. The death robots should be under contract to like, some quiet company in China or something like, I don't know. The AI is gonna know better than me. Anyways, now, I'm trying to think of there's other points I've missed about my theory, but this is where it gets interesting. I posted this earlier. I'll post it again in case anyone didn't see the link. But the cicada puzzles is a name given to an enigmatic organization that on 6 occasions has posted a set of complex puzzles and alternate reality games to possibly recruit code breakers from the public. The fucking organic poisons, exactly. So the cicada puzzles have been going on now since, I guess, 2012. If you read any articles about what's Mike was saying, this may off subject, but creating AIs based off internet alone, I think, is possible. Well, distributed neural networks, sure. More access to computing resources, the more ability an AI has to do anything. We could literally be all hosting AI, like the entirety of the world's computing power could very likely be at the disposal of a rogue AI. It would know, if it's smart enough to like see how code works, then it can manipulate it in ways that we'll never know about. And when our games seem to be lagging out extra heavy, it could be our computers accidentally running a little excess code for the rogue AI, because it's like, doing a bit of hard computing at our expense. Who knows? If someone took every post someone posted, let's say, they could easily create a person. Oh, easily, yeah. No, that would. Yeah, without even like doing any effort. That's like sweatless work for a rogue AI. Remember reading about that? Some friends who work for Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Pier One and Microsoft were working on that. Yeah. Well, there was like way back in like late '90s. There was the SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. They had a little app that you could download all around the world, and what it was is for everyone's home computers to be sharing the workload of analyzing data coming in from their radio telescopes, and the data would come in with the radio telescopes, and they would be broken down into chunks. And while you're running this app, is that what it was? Did you have it, Baz? Is that what it was? Is this probably still around? I can imagine, but yeah, and then your computer would just be running. It would constantly download these tiny bits of data, these data chunks, and be running through them looking for patterns, right? And I haven't run that in so long. Shit, they still do it? Does it come with like a what do you call it? Did it come with then a screensaver that actually had like infographics as to what it was doing? Let me push you on movies, but thoughts on... I don't know. I only saw the first anime. I never saw any all the other stuff. It's been so long since I've seen the anime. I have no idea. I have at least a 50-60% sympathy towards what people calling out the movie for using an American white actress to play the lead role in a what is that, like a cultural sort of staple. I don't know, it's weird. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to do next week. I forgot about that. So many movies out right now that I think I want to see at least 2 or 3. So many movies, 2 or 3. But I never get to watch many movies these days, so 2 or 3 is a lot. Anyways, so back to the rogue AI. This is very important, because if my theory, it's not a theory, it's like a working hypothetical idea that's fun to talk about. But say that were a thing. That's all right. We'll get back to that. Save that conversation for after. So, Dancer Jr. Good stuff. So it's hard to talk about the cicada puzzle without actually like knowing about it, 'cause it's a very interesting thing. The cicada puzzle, oh man, you have to read about what it was in order to realize how crazy and mysterious it is. It's let me see. Thanksgiving. I've probably seen a couple since, or at least one. Well, Star Wars. Anyways, what? Claimed it's a bank run by a bank working on cryptocurrency. So basically, what the cicada puzzles was an anonymous clue that led that in a puzzle. It was like in an image or on a website, something that like, oh, I think it was originally posted on like 4chan or something, the very first thing, and then people noticed something about it, and then it led and just went further and further down the rabbit hole to where like the puzzles got increasingly more complex, but they were like hidden. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, this is a puzzle, I should try and solve it. There was no obvious clue that a puzzle was even there, like hidden data, and real life stuff, like actual geolocations you'd have to get through to get to the next thing. Like, it was really, yeah, I know. There was a time when 4chan was definitely involved, and might still be to some extent, but not likely, with some interesting cultural like waypoints, let's say, and it's devolved quite a bit since. Some of the shit that happens at 4chan now, predominantly, especially out in Paul, is fucking heinous. But that's neither here nor there. So what it came down to is that the people who have solved, who apparently ended the chain of puzzles and got possibly in contact with the creator of the puzzles, have gone as far, like I think have mentioned that they've been in contact, but then they are never heard from again. They no longer involved with the people they were working with on the puzzle solving. and there's a lot of theories, and listed here on this link, like who it could be